Luck.
The ant world is governed by its own rigid set of rules, and they are never violated. Except maybe by an ant in love.
You gotta switch places with me. Let me go with inspection instead of you. This is the only way I can see her.
See who?
Princess Bala.
Z disguises himself as a soldier, but then discovers he's got the job for life, or for as long as he can stay alive.
The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. We slaughter termites just for fun, hurrah, hurrah. Forward!
Come on, let's kick some termite butt.
But then Z returns from battle and is an instant war hero.
The little guy made it!
Z is granted an audience with the Queen, but makes a lousy first impression.
What are you doing? Let go of my daughter. He's taking our hostage.
From out of the world of ants into the world of cinema magic, how they transform Sharon Stone into Princess Bala.
An individual personality had to be developed for every ant in this film. It took over 250 artists and filmmakers at DreamWorks and Pacific Data Images almost 3 years to bring these characters to life.
Man, that is so deep.
Animation is a very collaborative process. When we storyboard a film, the artist will draw up all the sketches to illustrate a comic book version of the film. You write down what you're going to do, you test it out, you go and show it to many people, make adjustments based on how people feel, and we go through and check these out, come up with new ideas, and adjust and build the film bit by bit. It's a process that just goes on and on and on, a very creative, fluid process.
And you'd be surprised how expressive an ant can be. They can throw around a lot of body language with the kind of equipment they come with.
What we try to do is get the feeling that the performer sort of put into the performance.
As each actor was brought on, their character physically was designed to not necessarily look like them, but to reflect the personality of that person.
Certain mannerisms are taken as you're performing it here and transposed onto the screen. So I suppose it helps the animators to see how the actor actually performs it. Suit yourself. Me, I'm cutting loose. I get as sweating, as tense, and as worn out after many hours as working in a natural film. You ought to watch that aggressive behavior, buddy.
We knew to pull off the film, these characters were going to have to act in like a really believable way. And the primary way of doing that was really to do facial animation that was just beyond anything anybody had done yet.
Even though you see an ant, but underneath that, there's all these human muscles that is built into the character. Like if I do a little sneer, I'm contracting the muscle here.
The number of actual controls, both bones and muscles, was over 300. Combine that with another 700 for the bodies, and there was like over 1,000 controls per character.
We've got close-ups of characters that are thinking one thing and saying another, and you can tell.
Well, actually, the truth is I generally just make belittling comments and snicker behind Death's back.
Mandible, who's the evil guy, was to me the one who stood out. So we had to put some wrinkles and furrows in his brow and the bridge of his nose that really kind of made him stand out and just really kind of come alive.
Now bring me that soldier.
Well, one of the biggest challenges with ants is dealing with crowds. Obviously, when you have a colony of ants, you expect to see hundreds, thousands, millions of ants.
We've basically taken 4 or 5 different techniques and been able to develop a system and an architecture for crowd systems that is probably the most sophisticated of its kind.
It gives a layer of reality to our film that is just terrific.
Besides creating all these great characters, Antz, like all the best movies, takes us to another world. An extraordinary little world that's right at the tips of our toes.
We always said it's not about how small the ants are, it's about how big their world is.
We researched a lot of microphotography, trying to get down to a bug's eye level and what does the world look like down there, what a surface of a leaf actually looks like. A dandelion now becomes a tree.
I think we've done a very good job at representing the scale of an ant.
A pebble to us or a grain of sand to us is a boulder. A weed becomes a redwood forest. Picnic ground becomes a city. We've seen it all, but we haven't seen it from the ant's perspective.
It's beautiful. And one of the best sequences for showing that is the shoe to shoe.
A person is walking and there's a character on each foot, and each step they take is miles away from each other. So they see things quite differently.
Who the heck is that?
Lighting is the last step. The layout's done, all the voices are done, the motion's done, and then it comes to us. This is what it looks like coming straight out of motion. There's no lighting, there's just simple plastic surfaces on everything. We turn it into this. We're painting on light.
We have all sorts of different kinds of lighting. We have indoor lighting, outdoor lighting, lighting at magic hour, lighting at dusk.
Throughout Z and Bala's dance, the lighting sort of changes, kind of gets soft and filtered and romantic, kind of like where the environment is oblivious to them and they're in their own little world.
Computer-generated imagery is very tactile. It really is 3 dimensions.
We're not trying to copy a traditional 2D animated film technique. We can really go and explore a totally unique look with this movie.
The combination of beautiful camera work, unbelievable organic design that is not otherworldly, it's of this world, but absolutely brand new and spontaneous. You come away with a film and just saying, I've been to a really different place that is really familiar.
You take a garbage pile, which to us is like, oh, it's awful, let's clean it up. And to Z and Bala is the most beautiful place in the world.
Have you ever seen anything more beautiful in your life? And we have a lot of organic, like leaves and mud that's been packed into different ways to make some real fun places that they live and work. We have the royal class with the queen, and she actually lives in sort of an amber crystal at the top of the colony, the closest to the sunlight. And then we have the workers and the soldiers, which both have their sort of different areas of the interior colony. We even have an ant bar in it where they go and drink out of aphids.
Do you want your aphid beer?
Call me crazy, but I have a thing about drinking from the caboose of another creature.
I'm not even gonna go there.
We made it, see?
You the ant!
So, after all of the research I did for my role in Antz, I learned that ants are different from us, but they're a lot like us, too. And here's one last secret about them that I find fascinating. The real ant world is run by females. I like that. The workers, the soldiers, all women. Guys have only one job in the colony, with the queen, and they only get one shot. So they'd better be good. I'm Sharon Stone. You be good, too.